much for taking the time to join me. I'm Janine, obviously at Graeae Horror, and I'm delighted to introduce my latest interviewee. Jon, how are you?
I'm so good. More importantly, how are you?
Yeah, wild, very, very good, thank you. It's been a bit of a whirlwind week already, and we're only on Monday.
Oh,
But and how are things in your world? Obviously, we've got the hint behind you there. You're in quite a big franchise at the moment. Is life treating you well?
so well. It's quite manic and quite surreal, but things are so good, and I'm just very grateful to be here.
Oh, good, good. No, thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it. So those who are faithful to all of my social accounts, you'll obviously know me as a horror fan. Be remiss not to wear Skeletor, the OG villain, in my eyes. And I'm a huge fan of this franchise ever since I was really small. I had, Snake Mountain and Castle Grayskull and everything, all the Battle Cat, the whole nine. So I had to jump at the chance to speak with you about everything Masters of the Universe and beyond, because we have a bit of a friendship as well. So I know a little bit more about you than some, which is great. So if I can start, obviously, we know you recently for starring in Masters of the Universe, and we will get into that. But you're also an actor and producer in your own right, which we'll also touch base on. So first of all, what was it about the role of Ram Man that appealed to you, and how did that opportunity come about?
I grew up watching He-Man. I have an older brother who I watched the cartoons with, read the comic books with. We had all the action figures, and when we would play fight, he'd always, let me be the hero, and
Love
so I
that.
got to play all the heroes as a kid. And I think when my agent sent me the audition for Motu, I thought, Motu, that sounds like Masters of the Universe. No, I'm auditioning for He-Man. Oh my gosh. And I scrolled down, I thought, oh, Ram Man. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, that makes way more sense.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
yeah, and I remember thinking, I believe, I mean, like we had all the action figures. So I called my brother, called my dad who helped me with the self-tape, with the audition and everything. He said, Ram Man, yeah, we had the action figures, the one with the springy legs. I'm like, that's the one. Yeah, so when I was preparing for the audition, it was literally just reliving a childhood.
I can imagine, because watching it, I got to see it on Saturday, and I had that nostalgia straight from the opening title sequence. You were like thrown back into my mid 80s as a child, going, "Oh my God, I remember being a kid and, young, watching all the cartoons and being fully immersed in all that Eternia had to offer." And it's, yeah. Was it as much of a dream for you actually being on set? Did it feel like that you were transported back to your childhood?
100%, because as a child, it was always my dream to be a superhero. And if I
Mm,
couldn't be a real life superhero, I would settle for playing one in a movie. And
love that.
yeah, lo and behold, I mean, being in full costume and stepping on set, it was like, this is happening. My gosh, this is, for my parents, for my brother, for kid me, this is, everything that I ever wanted.
Oh, that's such a dream role. I love hearing that from you as well, because you've always been so positive, but to hear that it exudes from you, it's really wonderful. Do you have a favorite memory from being on set for Motu?
Gosh, it kind of blurs into one, but we all got really close to each other. Like so Mechanic, for instance, him and I, we were good friends before we got into before we got cast for the film. And I was already super excited when I saw his photo when I was coming in for the costume fitting. I thought, oh my gosh, this is
And
amazing.
someone.
Yeah, yeah. And of course, hanging with the stunt performers as well as because when I used to be a stunt performer, I'd worked with a lot of the stunt department before. So yeah, honestly, it was just incredible. I think getting to fight the other stunt performers, because normally when you're a stunt performer, you just get beaten up or,
Mm,
axed or
yeah.
so it was really nice to win the fights for once.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
all
And
my friends who I was doing battle with were letting me win.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much. And you're actually, as you say, you're able to put your skill set to good use against like-minded skill sets and kind of battle it out for real, as it were. That's so wild. And what was the most challenging part of your role?
They were long days. They were really long days, and we had some of the fight sequences, for instance, were quite grueling with the wire work. Now,
Mm,
when you're doing wire work and fight stuff in trackies, for instance, it's absolutely fine. But when you're in
yeah,
full costume, there's a bit more to adjust for sure.
yeah,
And I think some of the most difficult days were there are a few long scenes which um, we were there for hours and hours and hours. But when you watch it in the final cut at the cinema, for instance, it's literally 2 minutes. I'm like, oh
yeah.
gosh.
All of that work.
Yeah. And not
Yeah.
all of it makes the final cut. So that's kind of tough. So you never know what's going to make the final cut and what isn't.
Mm,
So you just have to, you know, try to have as good a memory as possible and just remember. And I take photos.
mm,
So more recently, I posted photos with the cast,
yeah.
and it's those memories are precious. They're really, really precious, and it's so important just to steal those memories where you can. So yeah, I'd say even if it was a tough day, we still bonded over how difficult it was. And but for the most part, we all had such a wonderful time.
No, it definitely you can tell the closeness. And you were saying about the photos you've recently posted. My next question was to say that you were known as a bit of a selfie king in our group, and to see that actually blew my mind a little bit. Do you have a favourite selfie that you took with any of the cast or crew that
I
hasn't
think
perhaps seen the light of day yet, or has it?
I posted all my favorite ones. I do have a few at the gym, at the studio with some of the other cast members. And to be honest, I'm really fond of those just because I'm an avid gym goer. I've been lifting weights for 24 years, but with some of the other cast members, it was their first time actually really getting into it, getting stuck into a routine. And as a former personal trainer, it makes me so proud to see that because it's so much work to put on so little muscle.
Yeah.
And anytime I see someone putting on a little bit of muscle, I'm ever so proud of them. So it's like, seeing Nick Galatine, for instance, when I first met him, when I saw him again, he had put on a lot of weight. And then when I saw him again, he had to cut the weight down. And I
Mm.
gotta say, though, I got emotional seeing him in full costume because that transformation, not just in the film, because that was phenomenal. I have no words to describe that. But seeing it in person, seeing him in full costume for the first time, it wasn't just physical, it wasn't mental, it was spiritual. It was like, you look phenomenal, and I'm ever so proud of you. And the same with Tila, Cami Mendes. It was just seeing someone of her frame putting on muscle. And when you see the different angles, the camera angles, and she's just got her resting her arm there, and I'm like, oh my
You can
gosh,
see the
yes,
definition, can't you? You can
yeah,
tell when somebody's put the effort in. And it's interesting you say about the weight cut as well, because I used to watch a lot of MMA, and professional wrestling has always been a part of my childhood as well. And you can tell when athletes do certain things to their body to meet,
yeah,
a certain performance level, performance ready. I never thought of that in terms of acting, but I guess you have to be
yeah.
that, you have to add that physical element, especially in a role like this.
Cutting is usually really difficult because you have to reduce your calories.
Hmm.
And and also water weight as well. So you have to cut down your carbohydrates sometimes so you don't retain as much fluid. And then it's like, okay, I'm hungry and thirsty. And because I'm so depleted, I don't sleep well. It's all of those things. And of course, when you see professional athletes, and when they step into the cage or something, it's like you look at how depleted they are, and it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy to see just to make weight. And for film, it's a bit different because, well, one, you're not fighting anyone, but two, you do have to maintain that aesthetic for the duration of the shoot, really. For as long as you have your shirt off, you have to maintain that aesthetic. And it is not easy to do that. Thankfully, in my contract, they just wanted me to stay at the same weight, and so I didn't have to do anything too different,
Okay.
which is
Good.
great.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of the costume and everything, how was that? I'd imagine it was in several pieces, right? And then to allow the maneuverability, because you're not just a static character in this.
Mm.
Yes, you've got the flight elements, but there is a lot here for your character to do. How was that
Yeah.
process for fitting to actually wearing it on set?
Wearing it on set was really empowering, really, really empowering. I gotta say though, the armor is actually not that heavy, but it becomes heavy after about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Um, so you've got the shoulder pads and you've got the helmet. Those two come separately. And
Mhm.
I could get into it within about 10 minutes, but I needed someone to help me get into it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, someone to zip me up, someone to just tie everything together. And yeah, it was certainly when you are doing fight rehearsals, it's fine. Um,
Mm.
because you're in trackies, but then when you're in full costume, you have adjustments to make, especially as with the helmet, I can only hear you if I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
So already with fight sequences, you have to be more spatially aware of your surroundings. So,
Mm.
when we're in rehearsals, someone slashes their sword at me, I can move within an inch away from the sword, so it looks like it was about to hit, pretty close.
Mm.
With the armor, I have to move a bit further back.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are a few things to adjust and account for sure, but I'd say the helmet got a little toasty at times.
Yeah, I was going to say it looks quite snug. I'm not, and I mean that in the nicest way possible. How was your vision as well? Because it looked like you would have had minimal peripheral in that helmet, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So it was very much just having to, train my eyes a
Yeah.
little bit and just move my body slightly. But that was tough at times. But I gotta say though, in terms of um, headgear and visibility, Mechanic and Triclops definitely had it so much worse than I did.
Yeah, I was going to say that Mechanic costume, just seeing him without the animation that they added on top, I couldn't imagine. I'd imagine like those Elizabethan collars where you're stuck and you can just
Yeah.
move your whole body but nothing else. Like, yeah, that would be too claustrophobic for my liking.
And it's like Triclops. I mean, he had the eye in the middle.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
Interesting.
you know what? It was, and then you had other characters like Karg and Spycore, who are in
And
full prosthetics.
Trackjaw with that device as well,
Yeah,
like his whole lower part was stuck. That was insane.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all really, really smashed it. And I'm in a group chat with those boys, and they are incredible.
Oh, I'm so envious. I'm so envious. What a bonding experience as well. You must have come away with some great connections and some great friends.
100%, 100%. And we spent so much time together. And, even when we weren't together, we'd be messaging each other and everything. And it was a really wonderful time, though. It was, and also, we've reconnected more in light of all the premieres and the events. And it's been really wholesome, really, really wholesome.
I'm so pleased to hear that. And so obviously you mentioned earlier your love of the cartoon growing up and with your brother. Did you have a favorite action figure from the set?
Um, you know, I love them all. I couldn't just have one. I had them all. So as a kid, like my brother and I, we had action figures from, Marvel, DC, all the He-Man figures. And so it's like when you have action figures from all these different franchises, um, you just end up blending the universes together. So it's like, Donatello, for instance, has teamed up with Wolverine, and
I
now
need to
both
see
of
that
them.
film.
Oh
We
yeah,
need
yeah,
to
yeah,
see
yeah.
that.
And now both of them are going to enroll into Starfleet Academy. But yeah, they're
Why
fighting
not?
a legion of Klingons together. So you get really creative with the universe that you're creating with all the action figures from all these different franchises. So as a kid, I'm like, this is great.
Yeah. Yeah, that
So
was one because
I love them.
I definitely had Skeletor in with my Undertaker wrestling set. So they'd be in the ring, they'd be a tag team, and I'd be like, "What a formidable tag team!" Because Undertaker is undefeatable, he's otherworldly, and Skeletor is your mouthpiece. So you
Absolutely.
wouldn't need a manager. You what a great tag team! Make it happen.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love
Oh,
that so much because I think also I've got to say though when we all got cast for the roles and you know we met up and everything and in the gym we had all the posters and artwork of all the characters
mm,
and they're all so incredibly jacked and it's like uh, and there's a mirror in front of you, and then you're training and comparing yourself to these fictional characters with these impossible proportions.
yeah. Yeah, that was one thing I was looking forward to actually was the transformation between Adam and He-Man and to see how that worked. And for me, like seeing him initially on Earth with the shirt, you can tell he's jacked already because you have to be. Like there's no way you could go back on a production value. It wouldn't work to go and film it 6 months and then come back and do it. So that was one thing
No,
that just lost me ever so slightly because he lost that size. But again, childhood animation, you put yourself in plausible deniability almost. You're like, well, he was huge. He's just larger than life. And
absolutely. And to be honest, I think the shape Nick got into was
mm,
phenomenal.
oh, thank you.
I do think though, it's the propor if we were to try to achieve those impossible proportions, you would have to, you know, resort to exogenous substances, and even then, I don't think it's possible to achieve that
No,
kind
no.
of
You're
aesthetic.
almost a triangle on top, aren't you, with the tiniest waist again, and then the huge thighs. Like I remember those
Yeah,
figures just having impossible thighs. You're like, well, apart from maybe Dwayne Johnson can get away with that, you know. As you
absolutely.
know, you've actually been on screen with Dwayne. We have to drop that in there because
Yes,
why
yeah.
not?
Fast
Um,
and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw. He threw me. I'm the first one he beats up. He throws me over a table.
Yeah, I remember that scene vividly. I remember you telling me, and I was like, no way, watch, rewind, play. No,
Oh, thank you.
oh, it was so fun.
Thank you.
And then I'd be remiss if I didn't say, because obviously this cast is insane. It's a who's who of modern day and actually previous action films as well. We had a cameo from Dolph, which I loved. Part of me went, "Oh my god, it's actually He-Man." That was wild. Did you ever have a moment on set where you were starstruck when you met Idris or somebody else in the cast, and you just kind of went, "I have to pinch myself. I can't believe I'm here."
So, if I'm honest, it's everyone's a colleague, you know what I mean? It's like I was super excited to meet everyone, but you know, I think it's like you have to bring a certain professionalism on set and of course I was super stoked to meet everyone, Cami Mendes, Alison Brie, and yeah, you know what though? Inside I was like pinching myself like, oh my gosh. I can't believe this, but they are all such lovely people and so down to earth, so grounded. And you know, Cami is just so lovely. She's so kind. Um, and it's like some of the BTS stuff she's posted, you know, it's
Yeah.
so much fun, you know. And most of the stuff she's posted, I don't remember doing I think that she posted a BTS video of me dancing and she's just in front of me. I don't recall that.
Oh, I love that. You were caught in a moment, and that's wild.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
I went from a participant to a witness real quickly when I saw that when I saw that
Yeah,
poster. I was like, oh my gosh.
had like another world experience. You're like, that's not me. That I would never.
Yeah, that's definitely not me. But honestly, all the cast members, they were such wonderful, wonderful people. And yeah, it's like Alison Brie, for instance. I sat with her in the makeup chair. She was sat next to me. I said to her, "Oh, how's all the training going?" She goes, "Yeah, yeah, it's going well. You know, I've done a lot of stunt training before." I said, "Oh, really? You know, tell me more about it." And she said, "Well, I once did this show called Glow, where I play a
Yeah.
female wrestler, and I had to do a lot of my own stunts." And I was like, "Oh, amazing!" And then I went home and binged all 3 seasons within a couple of days. And when I saw it again, I said, "You really underplayed that. You weren't just you didn't just once do this show. You were the lead in that show, and it was phenomenal. I had so many questions for her, but it was she was so modest and humble about it. It was and she's so cool. They all are,
Yeah. Yeah, she exudes that cool level. The minute I saw Glows, I was a fan from the first season as well. And then she's been in our genre as well. She's done some great film work in horror as well, which we'll get to
Yeah.
horror, I promise. And I couldn't help myself, because if there is a film that sits in that action superhero kind of nostalgic realm that opens itself to double entendres and really lines of script you would never find anywhere else, it is going to be Motu. I have to ask, because there was one moment, and I almost spat my drink out when the actor said it to you.
Give him head, Brandon!
When the line "Give him head, Ram Man" pops up, what was your honest reaction? You know I was going to pick that up. That was the first thing I wrote in my book when I saw it. What was your honest reaction when you read that? And how did you bite your tongue every time they were filming it to not laugh out loud? Because that's ridiculous.
When I first read it in the script, I thought, oh, oh, okay, yeah. But that's the thing. When I read the script for the first time, I was like, there's a lot of really funny stuff in this, and I'm gonna have to acclimatize myself to not laugh, because I think Ram Man is one of the more serious characters.
Yeah, definitely.
So I thought, okay. So the bit where we're fighting, Fisto's in the middle. He goes, "Yeah, let's fist some bad guys." I'm like, oh God. As
I'm already gone.
Yeah. I'm navigating around him and everything, and then so I was, really in fight mode, doing just a few punches here and there. And once we got into position, he goes, "Give him head, Red Man." I'm already still out of breath and still in the motion. So I managed to keep that face, and we didn't do it too many takes.
Thank goodness for that, because I saw the look you gave him, and I was like, any moment he was going to crack. So I was like, editing must have been any minute now.
The thing is, that particular take is when we were filming it is not a short take. So I couldn't mess it up at the very end, because it's like Fisto's fighting people, I'm fighting people, all these Skell Knights. I didn't want to get to the end just to mess it up, because when we reset and go again, like, guys, I'm so sorry, that was on me. I didn't want that. So I had to make sure that I was, fully committed to the seriousness of it. Of course, though, I mean, like Johannes, who plays Fisto, we were very close, and his delivery of the lines is like, oh my gosh,
and
he's
that's
brilliant.
poor Johannes as well, because he had a mare in terms of script writing for him for that character name alone. When I heard this, it was in production, because this has been in production on and off with different studios for some years, and when it was finally coming to be, I was like, oh, they're going to change some names. Like, obviously, they changed Man of Arms to Duncan, and they did reference it, but they changed it quite a bit. And I thought, well, there's 2 character names they have to change, Fisto being top of that list, and they kept it. And I thought they played really well into that space, knowing that audience who's grown up with it are now adults, and they would appreciate the double entendres. Like, I loved that so much. It was wild.
I gotta say, when my dad was helping me with the audition tape, and he getting your dad to read the lines, "I once saw you fist a goblin," is really awkward.
You fist people, son. I don't fist people.
I'm pretty sure I saw you fist a goblin one time.
Yeah. And it's like
Fine, that's too much.
What does that mean? I'm like, oh, it means punching. It's like, oh, okay, but in a very specific place. Can we move on? And
Is your dad quite stern? Is he like quite, composed as a human, or do you think he'd find real humor in?
Yeah, generally, I mean, after he watched, him and my mum watched the film, he was like, "Oh, there's a bit where you're back to back with Fisto, and he says something, and then everybody laughed, and we didn't understand it. What was that?" I'm like, I'm like, well, it's a joke. It's a rude joke, you know. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I was not going to explain that to my parents.
no, no. Moving on, did you like this about the film? You know, you kind of have to move on very quickly. Oh, bless.
Absolutely, they loved it though. You know, they went to watch it for a second time today, and not just because I'm in it, but they really enjoyed the film, and they said it was just so much fun. And you know, my parents, they watch a wide range of stuff. I mean, they're retired, so they have time, and they just go to the cinema and watch different films. And yeah, you know, it's so wholesome that my conservative parents are really into this film.
Yeah, but it's so open, isn't it? It's such a joyous film compared to some of the things that you have been in. I think some of the genre pieces and things that you've
Yeah,
been in previously that have been a little bit harder going. This is so accessible to anyone of all ages, and everyone will find humor and joy in it, I think, personally, from my experience. Um, so moving on to you as an actor, what is it, or do you have somebody in particular that inspires your work? Is there somebody that really inspired your love of it initially, or somebody you look up to?
yeah, you know, I mean, I watch a wide variety of genres. So it's like if someone asked me what my favorite film is, I'd say National Treasures 1 and 2, and then followed by Star Trek First Contact. And you know, Enter the Dragon. So already you have three different genres, you know. So um I look at different genres and people that I really admire. Like I watch a lot of Big Bang Theory. I
Okay.
rewatch all 12 seasons every now and again, and you know, sometimes I'm just in awe of Jim Parsons, or especially when he's got these insane lines, and I'll download the script and I'll try it. I'm like, I have no idea how you pulled that off. You know, I'll look at someone like you know, Jackie Chan or Jet Li for their action, but even their screen presence, like you know, what are they doing when they're not saying anything, when they're not
Yeah.
doing anything?
Yeah.
And there's because I think even silence and not saying anything is a line in itself. And
Mhm.
so when you see people like Michelle Yeoh, for instance, who
Mhm.
I had the pleasure of working with, childhood hero, getting to work with her is okay, I did fanboy over her a bit.
Yay, I knew there'd be
Yeah.
one. We got it in the end.
So you know what it was? It was like, right, I'm working with Michelle on Monday. It's Friday today. I need to meet her now so that I can introduce myself to her and say, I'm looking forward to working with you on Monday because it's quite a crucial scene we have on Monday.
Mm.
Hi, Michelle, my name's John. Nice to meet you. Hi, Michelle, my name's John. Nice to meet you. As soon as she came out of a trailer, hi, I'm John. Oh,
Oh, no.
yeah.
Oh, I did the
And she
same
was
thing when I met Mick Foley. I fell apart to the point where I couldn't even speak. I was crying and shaking. The man had to give me a hug. But it was cool because I was the only person at my meet and greet who got a hug, so that was wild. But yes, anyway, I get that. Like everyone
yeah,
has that
yeah.
person that you're like, oh, I have no
It's
words.
so true. And it's so, so true. And I think, you know, Michelle Yeoh, who has a 40-year career,
Mm,
and you know, she's telling all these phenomenal stories.
mm.
Um, and the only questions I had for her were, what was your time like on Star Trek Discovery? You know
Oh,
what? Michelle Yeoh and Star Trek, two things I love the most, you know, it's yeah,
it's an unbeatable combination in your eyes. That's
absolutely.
wild. Yeah, why not? And I
Absolutely.
have to say, like, I'm not the biggest Star Trek fan, but those later films were so good that I really could. I sat and I watched them all, and I went to the cinema to see them.
Oh, amazing,
Mostly
amazing.
the draw for me was Idris being a bad guy for the last one. I was like,
Oh,
I
he
love that.
was, wasn't he? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, see, we
yeah,
looked back in the end. We got there. There's always a connection. 7 Degrees of Kevin
absolutely.
Bacon and all that. So,
100%. That is yeah, it's so true. But I'd say, you know, I think with there are so many actors that I look up to. I mean, the cast of Masters, I look up to
mm,
all of them. And because I got to see them all in action, I got to see them
mm,
all yeah, I mean, we got to read all the scripts, so I knew what the dialogue was going to be today. But then seeing them deliver the lines, it's like wow. I mean, so it makes me want to improve as an actor when I see someone else who's further down the line delivers this beautiful monologue in the most comedic way possible. And it's
It's wonderful.
very
It is so
humbling.
different, isn't it? Seeing the word on the page, a written word on a page, and then hearing someone deliver it. And if they get a slight direction to change it, or between takes, they take a slightly different creative on it, it has such a different tonal meaning and can change the
Absolutely.
scene. It's
And
yeah.
certainly, I delivered all my lines in quite a serious manner. But then with the music and the context, because the music is a character in itself, when the music played and with the context of everything, everything I said was just kind of funny in the end.
Yeah.
It was yeah, and but the whole give him head, red man. I've now watched the film 5 times.
Okay.
I'm gonna watch it another 4 this week with different friends and everything, and but every time that line came out, it was a hit.
Yeah, I didn't expect it, and to be honest with you, as I say, with Johannes's role, initially he was like, "Why am I Fisto?" And then he kind of adopts it, doesn't he,
Yeah,
so
just owns
quickly
it,
during the
yeah.
film. He's like, "Oh, I'm open to it. I'm using entendres now. It's great." So I love it.
Absolutely.
It was only a matter of time it would be coming to you. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, Johannes is just such an incredible guy. Like
Mm,
because he lives in Iceland,
mhm.
um so when he came over, we would always stay in the same hotels, and we'd have dinners together, and we sit in the sauna together, and we got to know each other really well, and he is a really really wonderful guy and just a phenomenal actor. So just by proximity, I learned so much from him and so much from everyone else, and yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. And so then I have a question for you as an actor. Is there a dream role that you would love to take on? Is there something you'd love to take on next or put out into the ether? Because you never know who's watching.
That is true. That is true. I love science fiction. So that would be another dream come true.
Mhm.
To be honest, I would really love to explore this universe even more. It's because Ram Man is depicted as super strong, magical, dense, and somewhat dim-witted. Um,
Everything.
yeah, so I thought, I think maybe after a few more knocks to the head, maybe you
Mm.
could see the decline in his,
Oh,
you know,
it
but
could have that effect. It could knock him in and he'd learn a new language. We don't know. It could unlock another part of the brain. That would be
that does
wild.
happen. That does happen. But certainly I'd love to explore that universe a bit more and see just how far we can take it. But you know, yeah, like I'm open to exploring, a variety of different roles, really. I'm like as a child, I wrote a list of things that I ever wanted to do, and I've done everything. I've checked off everything on that list now. So
Mm.
it's like, so everything in my life now is a bonus, and
Oh, wow.
I'm in such a wonderful position. So I just keep adding things to that list, and it's such a wonderful position to be in because I really just the most important thing is that I live a really pleasant and cool life. So
Yeah, you
yeah,
exude so much joy. You can tell that you attract that same joy that you put out into the world, and I'm so pleased for you because
thank
you
you so
absolutely
much.
deserve it. And
Thank you.
you're welcome. So we mentioned before we hit record that you are also a genre fan, and obviously I'm a horror reviewer and interviewer and soon to be festival director. Crazy. Just drop that in there. Self promo. Would you ever consider a role in horror? And if so, is there a franchise or film you'd be most drawn to?
I, oh gosh. I recently watched Obsession.
Yes, haven't we all? We've all seen it, I think, by
Wow.
now. How great is that
Wow.
film?
Just incredible. Just phenomenal performances all around. You know what? I really so I used to work as a paranormal investigator. So the paranormal
Sorry,
I
jaw claw. What? Rewind. Paranormal okay, I didn't see that coming.
so
Wow.
yeah, if you ever looked at my CV, you think this guy has no idea what he wants to do with his life. So I had a lot of full-time jobs, part-time jobs, evening jobs, and weekend jobs, just all
Mm.
around. And Yeah, paranormal investigation was one of them. So the paranormal supernatural genre also interests me, and because I tend to compare it to interviews that I've done with people and case studies and things that I've read, things that other investigators have reported. So it's like Insidious, for instance. I think the first two are really great because they are linked to one another more intrinsically. Oh, in the second one, you see that door opening and you see why that door opened in the first one, for instance.
Yeah.
I love that kind of stuff. It's quite trippy.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I watched Together as well, which is that body horror. I gotta say, I was so grossed out with that though. So grossed out.
Oh. I
So
think
deeply.
for me, the parts that grossed me out more were the contortion scenes and the moment there's the character who's in I think it's James Marsden. I probably got that really wrong. But yeah, and he's in the shower and she's going further away and he's smashing himself against the wall. It's those moments where he's compulsed to do something against his will. It's that got me more than I could watch the most visceral thing and not be freaked out, right? I'm a weirdo. But but a happy weirdo, so that's fine. But like it's those kind of moments that you it's the unexpected and the psychological stuff that gets me more.
100%. And I mean, I got to talk to Alison about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at the LA premiere, at the after party, she was there with her husband, Dave Franco, who, I mean,
Thank you. God, that was
yeah, yeah,
done with me. I'm really bad with names. Sorry, James. Sorry, Dave. If you're watching, they won't be watching.
yeah. No, I like it was so wholesome because Dave Franco said, "Dude, I loved you, man. You're amazing as Ram Man." I was like, "I loved you," and together, I was deeply unsettled. But my gosh, like, it's I think yeah. So I liked watching a bunch of different horror genres just to see if it's supernatural. How close is it to what people have actually said in real life? Compared to what is like more fictionalized. But also, like I watched the back rooms as well.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen this yet,
Hmm.
so
Okay.
I'm intrigued. But
I
I know
won't
I've
delve
seen
into
the onlines and all of that when that was a thing.
yeah. I won't delve into that too much, but it's like yeah, I like I think with horrors, it's just I think the ones that really scare me
Mm.
are like anything to do with cults. That terrifies me.
Oh,
Because I think with supernatural stuff, that's fine, whatever. I've delved into that field, so I feel like I have a um, fairly broad understanding of that. But with cults, when you have groups of people congregated, uh, performing rituals to a deity that nobody's ever heard of, that
yeah.
is terrifying. That is terrifying.
Mm.
And it's like when you watch Hereditary, for instance,
Mm.
or Midsummer. Um,
Yeah.
those stuck with me for a while. And what was the other one? Those Talk to Me and Bring Her Back. My
Bring
gosh.
her back. Oh my God, yeah, because you've got the added viscera to that as well, the shock moments, and because it's children, I think there's something to be said for that kind of stuff when it's young adults who are vulnerable. You're just like, this is not okay. No, 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 I'm not okay with this. But
Absolutely. And
wonderful. That was my favorite film of last year, like Bring Her Back. And it was a favorite film, I think, among genre fans, but a lot of the top 10 lists of critics and stuff never put it anywhere near. And I was like, but why? It was
really,
one. Yeah.
it was the knife scene.
Yeah, I can't touch cantaloupe now. That's me now. No, thank you. No more melons, no more fruit. I'm good.
Uh-huh. And it's I watched it with a couple other guys when we were on another film set, and yeah, we just oh yeah, bring it back. Oh, apparently that's quite good. Let's go watch it. And then afterwards, we were all quiet. It's like, do you guys want to play pool and like grab a drink? I'm like, yes, let's do that. We
Just do
need a
something
villain.
normal and decompress. We need an adult space.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I tell you what, Midsummer stuck with me for ages. I was like, all these atrocities are happening, and the music is ever so positive. I'm so deeply conflicted.
I agree with you, and I think the thing that got me more for Midsummer, the open is pure trauma, but not to ruin it for anyone who hasn't seen it. And if you haven't, please do, because Ari Aster is like one of my favorite directors. He's wonderful. But like I think it's the fact that it's baked in sunlight. It's in an idyllic setting, so you are instantly caught off guard. You've got that beautiful sun, and then you've got, as you say, this kind of ethereal almost music. Everyone's all happy, and then these atrocities happen, but it's a part of their everyday existence. You just don't see it, and they don't see it as horrendous. But as newcomers to that world, oh my God, it's traumatizing. It's not okay.
Yeah, I think that last scene,
Mhm.
like I was like, what? Why is the music so happy and optimistic? And oh, it took a while for me to get over that, and yeah, but that's incredible filmmaking, incredible. And but
Definitely.
I think there's another film I watched, The Last Exorcism. There are
Yeah.
many exorcism films, but uh, when I first saw the trailer for it, I thought, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, because it's like found footage, but then when you watch the film, it's like this pastor who actually doesn't believe in demons. So,
Mhm.
okay, let me show you how we can prove it wrong, with trickery. And then it's like you go through the whole film thinking, are they real or not? No, it's not. It's definitely, the demon's not real. Wait,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. Okay, everything's resolved. And then at the end, actually, I'm like, oh my gosh, so many twists. And I really love that. Yeah, but again, cults scares me.
Yeah, I was going to say actually, you were mentioning about your experience with the paranormal and investigation and things, and actually, if you were to delve into that genre, perhaps found footage would be the way. You would use
Yes.
that experience into that found footage because it's an easy enough. Well, I say easy. It's not an easy subgenre to tackle or to create because you have to have the reason for the cameras. You have to have a certain level of exposition without spelling it out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can take so much creative liabilities and so many risks and not liabilities, but you can take chances that you can't
Yes.
possibly do in other subgenres. That would be fun. I'd love to see you in a found footage. That'd be wild.
You
Yeah,
know,
that'd be so
yeah,
fun.
definitely. I mean, I think when the Blair Witch Project first came out, I mean, that
Mhm.
was revolutionary, really. I mean, it's a little dated now,
Oh
but
no, it
it's
still hits. I watched it on Christmas Day. I'm
hmm,
that weirdo, but like I loved it. It still hits
it's
now. I hadn't
still,
seen it
yeah,
for 10 plus years, and I still love it. Like
I think it's better than the second one.
I like the second one for different reasons. It's
Yes, yeah,
definitely, you could tell it's a 2000s like sequel. You've got the
yeah,
Marilyn Manson soundtrack. Like it hits all that kind of
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
decade of horror, right? It's yeah, it's a very different film altogether. Bless
Do you
them.
like do you like zombie films?
Yeah, I like everything in the genre.
Yeah,
There's very
great,
little I won't
great.
like. There's a really wonderful Indonesian zombie film that I have to recommend. I recommend to everybody called The Elixir. If you haven't seen it, it is
Okay.
on Netflix. I'm pretty sure it's still there. I saw it last year and it is wild. They do things with zombies that are slightly different because I think there's something about Indonesian filmmaking and Eastern filmmaking that they tap into something
Yeah,
subconsciously that a lot of
yeah,
Western films don't. And it's
I love
very
that.
clever.
Okay, Alexia, I'll add it to the list. I mean, have you
Yeah,
seen Train to Busan?
yes, yes. I didn't like the sequel so much, but the
Yeah,
trauma in that with the little girl and
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
businessman, I can't. He's my biggest villain in horror. He was so
That,
mean.
you
He's the
know
reason
what?
we all turned. No, no, not happy.
There is a video of his kill count.
No. Oh, I need to see it.
How
Oh
many he
God.
called? But it's because the big guy in Train to Busan,
Yes.
I doubled for him in Marvel Eternals when he played
I
Gilgamesh.
recognized him, and then I was looking at you up earlier on IMDb, and I was like, I saw you in
Yes.
Marvel Eternals, and then I looked at him and was like, no.
Yeah. So he
Oh
is
well.
one of my heroes, and I said to him, I loved you in Train to Busan. He goes, oh, thank you. I said, you were not my favorite character though. He goes, well, who was your favorite character? I said, the guy in the suit. He's like, no.
Oh, he's not your favorite. I mean, I'm normally the one that vies for the villains. I mean, hello, Skeletor. But like, there's something so selfish about that character. He's not evil in a demonic sense or in a otherworldly sense. He's just selfish. He's a blue collar, like not a blue collar, but he's a blue chip worker. out for me, and he's like, I'm going to damn this whole train of people before I die. No,
100%.
need, sir. No need.
For pure comedic reasons, I just thought his
We're going
character
to have a
had
falling out. No, I'm not happy.
his, I call him, this guy has a survival instinct.
Yeah, but did he survive though?
No.
Was it that good? No.
It's so funny though. Don Lee, who plays the big guy, he said
Yeah.
the guy in a suit in real life, he is like the loveliest guy in the world. You know,
Yeah.
it's he's like the nicest guy in the world, and it's so funny seeing him like not evil, just selfish. He is selfish, I just thought it just made for like such a fun film because I think if there is a disaster, you will get people like that. It was quite accurate, because when you see like disaster movies and everything, you do see people like it's every man for themselves. So I think it's always good to throw in someone like that into the mix into a film like that for sure.
I think it hits harder because we know those people exist. I mean, I hate to take it back to that time, but during the pandemic, we had people who were so rude over loo roll, like so uncharacteristically rude for no reason. I'm like, let's all share. We've got a quota. Everyone will get by. You'll be fine. But the scenes I've seen, and even things when we first had Black Friday over here, people elbowing and throwing each other over tables for a TV that was £50 cheaper. Like, come on. Humanity really is not okay. Like, we are not all right.
I completely agree, and I think I think the real villains, okay, are the ones who have just, as of maybe about a month ago, have just finished all the toilet paper they got 6 years ago that
That's
they
crazy.
panic bought and yeah. I'm like,
Enjoy that price
wow.
increase, guys.
Yeah.
It's very different now.
Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. But you know what though? It's I think when you see these horror films, you know, y- that it's like Dawn of the Dead, for instance, when you've got like the remake for which I really liked with Zack Snyder. When you have everybody congregated in the shopping mall, but everybody comes from different backgrounds. Everyone has different values. Not everybody is on the same page.
Yeah.
That is so true to life. That's so true to life. And I think it's if there is a disaster, for instance, you do see true colors, and I think it's really fascinating when you have writing and filmmaking that explores that.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think that Romero in particular was very good at that highlighting those the different backgrounds at a certain time as well. That it's really interesting to watch that retrospectively now and the viewpoints that were put across, but not always as blatantly obvious as some filmmakers like to make it out to be. So switching it ever so slightly, as one likes to do, do you have a favorite experience from meeting any of your fans?
Yeah. So, okay, a couple of weeks ago, I went to the premiere in Leicester Square, and I was in the IMAX theater. So I'd gone down the carpet, said hi to everybody. As far as I could anyway. We were getting ushered around, so I signed as many autographs as I could, took as many selfies with as many people as I could, and then I got ushered into the IMAX theater. Now, on the theater, the screen itself was live streaming more interviews outside, and I thought, well, okay, fine. Uh, but then I saw there was a cosplayer who was in a Ram Man costume, and I was like, I need to go out now. So I went out, and I saw where he was. I thought, right, okay. I saw him. He took a photo of me pointing at him. I got a photo of him taking a photo of me. And then I went through and I said hi to everybody. And then I made sure to say hi to everybody before I went to him. But I'm going to circle back and take photos at some point. But I need to speak to this guy and get a selfie with him because I've never seen a Ram Man cosplayer before in person. And you know what? It was so wholesome because he put in so much effort. And then when the film was about to start, I managed to get a selfie with him. And then when we came out, I said to him, I need a photo of us headbutting.
Yes. Oh God, did you get it? That's
I did.
wild.
I did.
Oh.
It was the best thing ever, and I couldn't believe it. It was just us there, just headbutting each other. That is probably one of my favorite fan interactions of all time. And for the most part, it's the fans who message me over Instagram or leave comments, and the ones that I've met in person have mostly been so lovely and supportive. It's been so wholesome. You do get a couple odd ones.
People are wrong. That's okay.
Yeah. But it's like at the end of the day, I think they're just passionate. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
exactly. And also it's that awkward thing of meeting somebody in film and you generally like don't know what to do. Sometimes you meet somebody and they catch you off guard and you're like, yeah, I had something prepared, like you were saying with
yeah,
Michelle, and then you forget and you fumble and then it's gone. Your moment is
it's
past.
so true. It's so true because I think um that moment, as you're a fan seeing back in 2008, I went to like a Comic-Con event in I think it was Collectomania in Milton Keynes.
Mhm.
And Morena Baccarin was there, who
Oh yeah.
plays the Sorceress. And I'm a huge Firefly fan, and
Yes,
V,
I'm so
and
glad it's coming back, by the way.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I'm so excited.
I wasn't sure until I saw all the actors, talking about it. I thought, okay, fingers crossed.
Yeah. It was
I
the same with me
love
with
it.
Scrubs. I didn't believe it till I saw them all and I'm like, right, it's happened. We
Yes,
can chill now and we can all get excited.
100%. And yeah, it's. I was a huge, and of course, Serenity was really good, but it didn't have the same magic as Firefly. But I got Marina to sign something for me back then, um, and it was like, oh, thanks for your support. And then it was like last year when I met her when we were doing stunt rehearsals, she came in and she was, oh, nice to meet you. And I said, I actually met you back in 2008 and you signed something for me. Do you mind if I bring it? And do you mind signing it for me? And she was like, yeah, sure. And then, so when I saw her a couple weeks later, which was her last day on set, because we
Mm.
we never crossed paths on set. So everyone's scheduling was different. So she had just come in to do one last day, and I managed to catch her. I said, I found it. She goes, you didn't. I said, yeah. And she wrote on it, to John, nice to see you again. I was like,
Oh, that's sweet. There you
yeah.
go.
That
Full
was
circle,
so,
really.
so wholesome. So
Oh.
wholesome. And so, I've been the fan before, you know what I mean? And it's like, and you always remember when, if you meet an actor of a show that you love, you always remember that interaction with them. I know they say, never meet your heroes, but all the ones I've met have been nothing but lovely. And, it's so wholesome. Like, um, about 4 years ago, I was randomly in an elevator in downtown LA because I was going to get my jacket for a TV show sorted for the brother's son. And I'm with Allison, who's one of the costume department. And we went up one floor, the elevator door opened, and Keanu Reeves walked in randomly.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. I'm not going to say anything because he's private, and I'll nod my head at him on my way out or something. And Allison is telling me, so yeah, so we need to get this jacket sorted because you're filming with it tomorrow, and then yeah, then you're filming with it for the next couple days. So we just need to get this sorted. I'm like, yeah, no worries. As we're about to leave, Keanu Reeves says to me, hey man, best of luck with your shoot.
Oh,
And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Actually, you and I worked together 11 years ago on 47 Ronin. You were so nice to me. You're actually one of the reasons why I'm still in the game. And that was my first movie. And thank you so much. And he was like, 47 Ronin, dude, wow. I'm so happy that, you've done so well, and, you're here. And it was a really lovely interaction. And I said, dude, you were so nice to me. And can I get a photo with you? He was like, yeah. And I got my selfie with him. I shook his hand, and the elevator door closed, and I collapsed. And
yeah, that's
Allison was
it.
like,
Done. Day made.
and that's the thing. Allison was like, "Wait, what?" Like, she goes, "Wait, what just happened?" Like, and she said, "You were so composed." And I said to her, "I had 11 years to practice that. 11 years to practice that, because when we were on set on 47 Ronin, a lot of my friends got photos with him." And so it came full circle that I
Mm.
would be in LA random and I would randomly see him in an elevator. I literally would have just nodded my head, maybe shook his hand and walked on. But yeah.
Oh, that's so wild. I'm just going to quickly check that this is still okay. We're still going. That's good. Sorry, I just had to check because it kept coming up with alerts, and I'm like, don't run out of time. So, cool. So I'm going to move ever so slightly again. We're going to subvert to another area of your career, your stunt work. So I'm going to list a couple of titles just to familiarise some of those who may not know. Obviously, we mentioned earlier the Fast and the Furious, Hobbs and Shaw. You were in both the Rock. And did you get any time with Jason, or was it
I
just with
met
Dwayne?
him briefly. I met him briefly. He is also really nice. He just came on set like, "Hey man," and he said, "Hey bro, really great to see you." And then I was like, "You have no idea who I am," but you know that was so lovely of him.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I only spent on set only a day.
Wow, that was a fly-in visit then, hey? Wow.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then also you've done stunts on Guy Ritchie's series The Gentleman, which I personally really loved, and Doctor Strange, of course, as well, which a lot of our fan base will be familiar with. And
Amazing.
how did you get into mixed martial arts? Because I know that you've been in that world for quite a long time. How did you come into that?
So I started training in 1993. So I was 5 at the time, and my dad pushed me, and he got me to train with a lot of different people, including someone who trained the SAS. So I have quite a diverse martial arts background, and martial arts splits into 3 categories. You have fighting, health, and performance. As a kid,
Hmm.
I competed a lot. And I always knew that
Hmm.
I wouldn't compete for the rest of my life. And
Yep.
so, I thought I will still train for self-defense. I will still train for health, but I want to perform for a living. So that way I'm still using all those skills.
Mhm.
Yeah, so when I used to watch, uh, Jet Li, Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, I thought, oh my gosh, they're not actually fighting, but they're still using their martial arts skills. I would love to
Yeah.
do that someday, and I would love to be an actor. But I got into it through stunts. So my brother found a poster that said, are you East Asian, and would you like to be in are you a martial artist, and would you like to be in a movie? I'm like, yeah, these are 3 things that, yeah, I tick yes for. Okay. We went into London, and they took some photos of us, and then they said, yeah, we'll be in touch. Then I got a call. They got me to audition at Shepperton Studios, and they said it's for 47 Ronin. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, quite a big scale then. So it was just some sword fighting and everything, and they liked me enough to bring me in for like 3 or 4 months work. And I just finished uni, so it was
Mm.
I thought, great, yeah, fresh out of uni, let's this is good to do this. And then yeah, after that, I was the stunt coordinator would always bring me back for other jobs that he had, but it wasn't enough for me to live off. So I still had a full-time job and a bunch of side hustles and evening jobs, weekend jobs, part-time jobs, the lot. And yeah, it was anytime there was a day to do filming, I would take a day off work and go do that, and then come back to work. And eventually, I remember thinking, one day I will do this for a living.
Mm.
So eventually, I did stunts full time, and then lockdown happened. But then
Yeah.
for about a year after that, it was like I was still getting a lot of work, and then, but I would prioritize acting work over stunt work. So if there was a stunt job that would pay me a fair bit in just a few days, but it clashed with, you know, a low budget movie that got me doing dialogue and acting, I thought I would choose the job that pays me less
Mm.
because this is what I want to do. Stunt work, that's fine, that can help me pay the bills, but I need to prioritize what I want to do, and that was more of the acting. So I did a lot of low budget films, and I did a lot of student films, just because it kept me in the game. It just kept me working towards the same goal. And then in 2022, I auditioned for The Brother's Son, which I booked, and I flew out to LA, and we were filming in Hollywood. was surreal to be there for 4 months. And yeah, it was yeah. Then after that, it was just get an agent and then start having more auditions and see what other jobs I can book. And the job that I booked in 2024, after many, many, many auditions, was Masters of the Universe. So
Wild. What a way to like start a career as well, with quite a high profile film as your first reel, and then
absolutely,
to go full circle and back into the high profile again. That's wild. Do
absolutely.
you have a favorite stunt that you've performed?
Yeah, yeah. And it's on Masters, but it didn't make the final cut.
Maybe special edition. It'll be in the 4K Steelbook.
I
It'll be
hope
there.
so. I
Keeping
really hope so.
close.
Yeah, it's just an extended fight sequence, and we spent weeks rehearsing this one stunt, and it's yeah, basically one of the baddies tries to swipe my leg. I evade it. I kick my leg up, I spin 1.5 times horizontally, land against the wall, and push off,
Oh
and
no.
continue to hit people. It's the coolest thing I've ever done. But yeah, hopefully it is in the extended cut. So we'll see.
Let's hope
We'll
so.
see.
It won't be on a cutting room floor somewhere. That sounds too wild to not put into an extended edition. And what's the most dangerous stunt you've ever performed?
I was probably It was probably on Marvel Eternals. I sustained a lot of injuries from that. My hips, broken ankle, concussion. Yeah, so it's yeah, when you land badly,
Mm.
it could be the simplest stunt, but if you landed badly, you have to get up and do it again and again and again. It's
Mm.
really tough. It's really, really tough. And because if you can't do it, they will find someone who will, and it's quite cutthroat. So, for job security and everything, you kind of just power through. And that was a tough job. But I'd say, like Fast and Furious, I broke my hand. I broke on the second take, and we did 6 takes.
Oh,
So
oh, you
yeah,
Leo DiCaprio'd that, huh? In
yeah, yeah,
Django.
yeah,
Just carried on.
absolutely. But that's the thing, adrenaline carries you through. And but that's the thing these days. I think with transitioning to the acting, I will do all my stunts for as long as I can whilst I'm still capable.
Yeah.
Yeah, but every year that bar is getting lower.
Yeah, that's it. You've got to weigh up the risk of it all, haven't you, really? And is there a stunt performer you particularly admire the most, or somebody you really look up to?
Oh my gosh, where do I begin? I think they are all phenomenal. I'd say, yeah, I would say Aidan Kennedy, who's a very young man who I got to work with, exceptionally talented. Imagine you're at a theme park and you're on a roller coaster from start to finish, and then when you get off, that's what it's like to be him.
Oh,
When your
wow.
feet
Okay.
leave the ground, you're spinning around. He can defy gravity. It is something else. But I have they're all my heroes, all those stunt performers. I think they're all phenomenal athletes. And yeah, it's
Think
very
they're an
humble.
unsung part of filmmaking as well. There's a lot to be said for those that you take a lot of face value as a consumer, but you don't really take time to think of the people behind the scenes who put those visual effects and that take those risks for our
Absolutely.
entertainment. It's quite an unpraised job, but certainly one that I love looking into and just interested to know a bit more about. Wonderful.
I
And then,
do say
sorry.
to people that whilst I look cool on camera, there was a team of people that made that happen. You've got
Yeah.
the camera crew, the sound, you've got hair and makeup, you've got costume. There are so many moving parts that without them, like I enjoyed the benefits of it because you see me in the final cut, but the credit has to go to the crew and the departments and the department heads. And yeah, because they really made the magic happen. And of course the producers. And um, you know, as an actor, I'm the last one on set and the first one to leave. You have the camera crew who came hours earlier just to set up and everything, and then they're the last ones to leave because they have to pack up everything. And it's really, really tough because, but I say to a lot of people that as an actor, it's a very privileged position to be in. And, like I'm exceptionally grateful to do what I do. Yeah, just see what happens next.
Yeah, definitely. And then I have one final question before I go into like a quick fire round. Do you have any advice for anyone who's looking to get into either stunt work or acting professionally?
Yes, and it's more philosophical than practical, because everyone has to find their own way. Everyone has to find their own path. But I'd say, keep that dream alive because not now does not mean not ever. I think the world is big enough for everyone to have what they want to achieve and more. And you have to treat your dreams like goals. Because if
Mhm.
you treat your goals like dreams, you're not going to work towards them. So when you're not working in your craft, you must always be working on your craft. And like I'll always say, my successes are known, but my failures are not. So it's really important that, yeah, I'm always happy to talk about my failures because I want people to know that it hasn't been a smooth ride. And it is a really competitive and tough industry, but, you know, it's like, and not every opportunity is the right one for you. So I'd say, keep working on yourself because that is the greatest project you will ever work on. And also, if you work a job that isn't film related, that just prepares you for your life as an actor. It's like if you work in student services at a college, for instance, it's
Right.
like it's like I've done acting jobs where I was the uncle of a student at student services, having to pay off the kids, the bill, the fees, for instance.
Yeah.
I've been on the receiving end of that, you know what I mean? So I
Mhm.
know I could channel that, but I wouldn't have had that experience if I hadn't worked in that job.
Yeah.
So all the jobs you work outside of the industry is just it's just research for when you are in the industry. So I'd say not now never means not ever.
That's really sage advice. Wow, that's such a profound answer. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So moving on to something less profound now, bit of a quick fire round. So first answer wins, and we'll just see where we end up. Okay, here we
Gosh.
go. Oh, here we go. Ready? Flex. Okay.
So,
He-Man or Skeletor, but I already know the answer. Okay. Acting, stunts, or producing?
acting.
Oh, nice. Favorite movie snack?
Favorite movie?
A favorite snack that you enjoy whilst
Oh,
watching a film?
popcorn. 100%.
Popcorn, classic. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Okay. A movie you've seen a million times?
National treasure.
Oh, I love how candid you are about that. That's so good. And favorite film soundtrack?
Oh, Last of the Mohicans.
Great choice. That's such a great film. Okay, and can you recommend 2 films for us to get to know you?
Can, can they be TV shows?
Yeah, whatever you want to choose. Yep.
Okay. Big Bang Theory and The Brother's Son. Yeah,
Through your own work in there. I love that.
yeah.
Okay, and if there's a film you'd love to screen alongside Masters of the Universe as a double feature, what would you choose?
The sequel to Masters of the Universe.
Ah, look at you. What's
Yeah.
that? Stay past the credits, so maybe a hint. Yes, please.
I hope we
Oh,
get one. I really hope we get to do it all over again.
yeah, that would be wild. Well, you know who to ask if you need a friendly +1 for a premiere, right? I'll be at
Thank
Leicester
you.
Square so quick.
Thank you. Thank
um,
you.
And then one last question as well. For those who haven't yet seen the film, why would you think we should go and see Masters of the Universe?
It is a family-friendly, fun, adventure, fantasy, sci-fi film. There's something for everyone in the film. It's so funny. There's a mixture of different genres and it's really funny. The action sequences are so incredible and visually spectacular.
Definitely. Yeah, you've rounded it off perfectly. Well, thank you so much, John. As always, it's a pleasure to connect again. And thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It's been so great, but we'll have to hang out soon.